If you feel everything deeply, if you take words to heart, if every small comment, rejection, or silence stays in your mind like an echo, this video is for you, because the world can feel brutal when you care too much. This is the art of not caring. Not because you're cold, but because you're learning to protect your peace. Being sensitive is not a weakness, it's a strength. It means your heart is open. It means you can see the world with more colors than most. But the problem begins when your worth starts depending on what other people say or do. You start believing, if they ignore me, I'm not important. If they criticize me, I must be wrong. If they leave me, I must be unlovable. But here's the truth. People treat you based on their wounds, not your worth. Their actions are a reflection of their own internal battles, their own insecurities, their own limited understanding of the world. You see, most people are walking around with hearts shrouded in armor, afraid to feel, afraid to connect, afraid to be vulnerable. And when they encounter someone like you, someone who wears their heart on their sleeve, it triggers their own unhealed pain. They lash out, they withdraw, they try to dim your light because it exposes the darkness within themselves. And not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to the depths of your being. Some people are emotional vampires, seeking to drain your empathy, your compassion, your very life force. They'll take and take until you're left feeling depleted, exhausted, and questioning your own sanity. But here's the thing, you have the power to choose who gets access to you. You have the power to set boundaries, to protect your energy, to shield your heart from those who would seek to harm it. Remember, your sensitivity is a gift, but it's also a responsibility. It's a responsibility to yourself to guard it fiercely, to share it wisely, and to never let anyone diminish its brilliance. You'll stop caring what people think when you realize how seldom they actually do. David Foster Wallace. Let that sink in for a moment. How often are you consumed by what others might be thinking about you, about your choices, about your life? How often do you let those imagined judgments dictate your actions, your words, your very being? The truth is, most people are too busy navigating their own internal landscapes to spend much time dwelling on yours. They're preoccupied with their own insecurities, their own desires, their own fears. They're caught in the endless loop of their own thoughts, rarely pausing to truly consider the inner world of another. So when you find yourself trapped in the cycle of overthinking, of analyzing every interaction, every glance, every word spoken or unspoken, remember this: you're giving them far too much power. You're allowing their perceived opinions to hold more weight than your own self-perception. Their criticisms, their judgments, their whispers of doubt, they're often not even about you at all. They're projections of their own unresolved issues, their own insecurities, their own fears. They're looking for a mirror to reflect their own darkness, and sometimes you unwittingly offer yourself up as that reflection. But here's the liberating truth. You are not a mirror. You are not defined by their projections. You are a complex, multifaceted being with your own unique story, your own internal compass, your own path to walk. So let them have their opinions. Let them be wrong about you. Your job is not to convince them otherwise. Your job is to stay true to yourself, to live in alignment with your own values, and to let the rest fall away. Deep down, it's not really about the words themselves, is it? It's about what those words represent. It's about the primal fear of rejection, a fear that's been hardwired into our very DNA since the dawn of humanity. You see, our ancestors lived in tribes, and being ostracized from the tribe meant certain death. Rejection meant losing access to food, shelter, and protection. It meant facing the harsh realities of the world alone, vulnerable and exposed. So, our brains evolved to be hyper-vigilant to any sign of social threat, any hint of disapproval or exclusion. Every little silence feels like a potential banishment. Every judgment feels like a threat to our very survival. But here's the thing. We're not living in the savannah anymore. We're not hunting woolly mammoths with sharpened sticks. The world has changed, but our ancient wiring hasn't quite caught up. We're bombarded with information, opinions, and judgments from every direction: social media, news cycles, advertising, the constant chatter of the digital age. It's a cacophony of noise, and if we're not careful, we can easily get swept away in the current, allowing the negativity and judgments of others to penetrate our defenses and poison our well-being. Taking everything personally in this day and age is like walking barefoot through a field of broken glass. You're bound to get cut, bruised, and bleeding. It's an exhausting way to live, constantly on edge, constantly seeking validation, constantly trying to please everyone while silencing your own inner voice. Chapter 4. Now, I'm not saying you should become cold and indifferent. The world needs your empathy, your compassion, your ability to feel deeply, but you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't keep giving your energy to those who don't deserve it, to those who would seek to diminish you rather than uplift you. So how do you stop caring, not in a heartless way, but in a way that protects your peace and preserves your precious energy? It starts with a shift in perspective, a shift from external validation to internal validation. Stop asking, do they like me? Start asking, do I like who I am being today? The next step is to master the art of the pause. Not every comment, every criticism, every snide remark deserves a reaction. Sometimes the most powerful response is silence. Silence is not weakness, it's strength. It's the ability to rise above the fray, to refuse to engage in the drama, to maintain your composure in the face of negativity. And finally, you have to learn to set energetic boundaries. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your inner world. Some people are emotional vampires, seeking to drain your empathy, your compassion, your very life force. Learn to recognize these energy leeches and keep them at arm's length. Remember, your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. You are worthy simply because you exist. You are worthy because you are here, breathing, feeling, experiencing this journey we call life. Chapter 5. Being sensitive is not a liability, it's a superpower. It means you feel more, notice more, care more. You see the nuances that others miss. You pick up on the subtle shifts in energy. You have an innate capacity for empathy and compassion that can't be taught. It's woven into the very fabric of your being. But like any superpower, it needs to be controlled, harnessed, and directed with intention. Otherwise, it can become overwhelming, leading to burnout, anxiety, and a deep sense of feeling misunderstood. The key is to find healthy outlets for your sensitivity, ways to channel that intense emotional energy into something creative, something meaningful, something that brings you joy. Maybe it's through writing, painting, music, or dance. Maybe it's through connecting with nature, volunteering in your community, or simply being present for a loved one in need. Whatever it is, find what lights you up, what allows you to express the full spectrum of your emotions without apology or reservation. Remember, your sensitivity is not a burden to bear, but a gift to share. It's what allows you to connect with others on a deeper level, to experience the world with more vibrancy, to appreciate the beauty in the everyday moments that others might miss. Chapter 6. Self-doubt is a cunning thief. It sneaks in when you're least expecting it, whispering insidious doubts, planting seeds of uncertainty, and chipping away at your confidence one thought at a time. It tells you you're not good enough, smart enough, talented enough, or worthy enough to pursue your dreams. But here's the truth. Self-doubt is learned. It's not innate. It's not hardwired into our DNA. It's a byproduct of our experiences, of the messages we've internalized from our childhoods, from past relationships, from a society that often profits from keeping us small and afraid. Think about it. When you were a child, did you doubt your ability to learn, to grow, to create? Or were you filled with a sense of wonder, a belief in your own limitless potential? Somewhere along the way, those limiting beliefs took root, often planted by well-meaning adults who were projecting their own fears and insecurities onto us. But here's the good news. If self-doubt is learned, it can be unlearned. We can choose to challenge those negative thought patterns, to question their validity, to replace them with more empowering beliefs. It takes time, effort, and consistent practice, but it's possible to rewire our brains for greater self-compassion, self-acceptance, and self-love. Chapter 7. Confidence isn't about being the loudest voice in the room or having all the answers. It's not about arrogance or bravado. True confidence is quiet. It's a deep-seated knowing of your own worth, a belief in your ability to navigate the challenges of life with grace and resilience. It's about showing up as your authentic self, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's scary, even when you're not sure of the outcome. So how do you cultivate this unshakable confidence? It starts with keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you build trust within yourself. You prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you are capable, that you are worthy of your own respect. Another key ingredient is doing hard things alone. Stepping outside of your comfort zone, facing your fears head-on, and proving to yourself that you are stronger than you think. It could be anything from learning a new skill, to traveling solo, to simply speaking up for yourself when you feel unheard. And finally, let go of the need for permission. You don't need external validation to pursue your dreams, to express your creativity, to live a life that is true to you. You don't need 100 people to believe in you. You need one, you. Outro. You don't have to stop being kind, loving, or sensitive. These are beautiful qualities that make you who you are. You just have to stop giving your power to people who haven't earned it. To those who would seek to dim your light instead of celebrating its brilliance. Protect your peace, guard your heart, choose your company wisely. And remember, you are not defined by the opinions of others, but by the way you choose to show up in the world. Master the art of not caring, and you'll finally feel free. Subscribe if you're ready to feel deeper, but break less.